Hey everybody, happy Monday. Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus. I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi, and well, there's not too much in the way of trickery to our forecast ahead. It's going to be hot and dry, then hot and dry, then maybe a few storms on Wednesday, then hot and dry, hot and dry, hot and dry, hot and dry through the upcoming weekend. So, point is, it's going to be pretty hot and dry for the next little while. And really, I think big stories, we could be talking about one of our hottest summers on record and one of our hottest Augusts on record. I'll get into more detail on all that here in just a second. But I want to kind of take you out to a live view of Denver. We've got a lot of sunshine overhead. In fact, nothing but beautiful blue skies. Got a little warm air above the surface. That is capping the development of any clouds for us, at least so far this morning. May see a few stray clouds develop this afternoon, but it's going to stay dry here in Denver this afternoon. Feeling pretty confident about that, and taking a look at those headlines. Dry and seasonal-ish today, about 2 to 3 degrees above average, but we'll call that within the realm of normal. The rest of the week will not be normal. We'll be very warm. Big ridge of high pressure develops. That'll keep us well above average for this time of year. And then we get a few isolated storms the week front that drops on through on your Wednesday. No big deal with that system, though. So, HD Doppler radar showing that weak little system that brought us some of those showers and storms on Friday and Saturday. In particular, had a few yesterday as well. And that has now departed off to our east into Nebraska and Kansas, and that is leaving us here across the state of Colorado, high and dry for our day today. And it's going to stay that way for tomorrow as well. Maybe 1 or 2 popcorn showers on up around South Park and into the Collegiate Peaks, maybe west into the West Elks, but for 95% of the state, it is going to be dry both today and tomorrow. Again, that does change a little bit as we get into your Wednesday, but even that doesn't look to be too dramatic at this point, which means now that it's going to be dry, well, temperature is going to be a big story as we head over the next few days. Current temperature is already up near 90 degrees for us in Pueblo. By the way, interesting fact about Pueblo is they've already been at 100 degrees or above 24 times so far this year. Outside chance they get there again this week. So it's been a very, very hot summer statewide, but Pueblo, one of those real hot spots. Again, 24 days at 100 or above, I believe is number 3 all time for them, and they may get a couple more of those 100-degree days this week. Now here in Denver, don't think we'll get to 100 this week, but we will get to 90. Not today, though. High of 87 for us here in town. If you like cooler weather, enjoy today, because it's probably the coolest day we'll have for the upcoming 7 to 10 day stretch. So showers and storms to our south, perhaps 1 or 2 of those, but for 95% of us, again, today looks to be a dry and warm day. Now for those forecast highs, again, Pueblo already up to 89. I have a feeling that you may get over that forecast high 92 there in Pueblo. You're probably looking 95, 96 out that way. Lamar 93, 85 Burlington, 86 Julesburg, and Grand Junction up to that 90-degree marker. And notice some of those warmer temperatures in Moab and Grand Junction, those low 90s. That's that big ridge of high pressure that will eventually budge its way into our direction, into Denver, and warm us up as we get into your day tomorrow. So tomorrow, 91 for us here in Denver. Very warm for us. Again, our average high this time of year, normally about 84, 85. So we're talking about 91. That's getting pretty hot for this late in the month of August and this late into the summer season. Light winds, no storm chances for a day tomorrow, at least here in Denver. Again, you get on up into South Park as well as Park County, Chaffee County. That's where you've got the chance for maybe 1 or 2 stray showers or storms. But for 95% of the state, tomorrow remains a very dry day and also a very warm day. Notice a few of those spots around Platteville, Fort Morgan. We're talking more mid-90s in some of the hot spots across the metro area. Brighton 94. So again, a very, very warm day on tap for our day tomorrow. Probably not quite record level. I think our average record highs are in the upper 90s for this time of year, but still a very hot day on tap. Now, as far as tomorrow's concerned, again, 1 or 2 of those stray showers on up by South Park. I mentioned those. Park, Chaffee counties, that's where you have the chance at seeing 1 or 2 of those. But for most of us, it is a dry day, and it's going to stay that way thanks to this huge ridge of high pressure that is going to build on in and dominate our weather for the next 7 to 10 days. And by the way, if you're traveling to or got family in southern Nevada, so Las Vegas, Phoenix, Yuma, Arizona, and Southern California, LA, San Diego, it is going to be exceptionally hot in those areas. Record heat in that part of the country. I think we're on the fringe of this ridge of high pressure that'll keep us Slightly in check here in Denver, so we're talking hot, but not quite record hot. But southern Nevada, southern California, central western Arizona, that's where it's going to be record heat, 100-plus temperatures in a lot of those areas, which, again, this is pretty late in the season for us to be talking about temperatures that warm in that part of the country. 7-day forecast for us here in Denver. Again, the story here is just the longevity of this heat. So, by the way, Thursday is the start of meteorological fall. That's when we, of course, transition from August to September. Meteorologists, we measure seasons by months, by full months for official record-keeping purposes. And so Thursday is the start of September, which means that we're transitioning into, meteorologically speaking, fall. But it's not going to feel anything like fall for us. Those temperatures topping out in the low 90s. Would not be surprised if we get one or two of those days into the mid-90s. And again, we're normally in the mid-80s, kind of low to mid-80s this time of year. So this is very, very warm for this time of the year. And we're going to be adding to this number quite a bit. We're already at 55 days at 90 or above so far this year. That is tied for the 8th most on record for us here in Denver. We're going to be adding quite a few days, and we're going to finish almost for sure in the top 5 once all is said and done in terms of 90-degree days for us here in Denver. And another thing, this is perhaps pretty interesting to watch out for as we head over the next few days. Speaking of a warming climate, there's no other way to put it because this is directly linked to a warming climate. Here in Denver, our average summer-to-date temperature is 74.8 degrees. For a bit of context on that, if it finishes that way, it will finish above that, but if it finishes that way, that's already our 3rd warmest summer on record. And the other thing to note is that including 2022, each of the last 3 summers have finished amongst the 4 warmest summers on record here in Denver. So I'll repeat that one more time for you. Each of the last 3 summers here in Denver in 150 years of record keeping have finished amongst the 4 warmest summers on record. And those stats are consistent for Stapleton, the old Stapleton Airport, Central Park weather observation site as well. So this is not just a DIA outlier thing. This is something that is directly tied into our climate that is unquestionably warming. We're feeling the impacts of that here in the Denver area, perhaps more in a lot of other places. But certainly a thing to take away from the forecast here is it's going to be hot, it's going to be dry, and it's going to stay that way into probably next week, including the start of the month of September and the official start of meteorological fall, at least, again, meteorologically speaking. So hopefully it gives you a good idea about what to expect as we head over the next few days. Meteorologist Greg Perez will have an update come up at 9 News at noon. Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin's in at 4 and 5, and then Meteorologist Danielle Grant will have continuing updates coming up at 6, 9, and 10 tonight on the 9 News Family Networks. Once again, I'm meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks so much for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your Monday.